welcome back to my channel, and today's video is going to be a bit of a top 10 tip video. I feel like, I know I haven't been on Slimming World that long. I think it's what, 4 weeks now, which isn't a huge amount of time, so I'm not claiming I'm an expert by any means, but these are just tips that I've come up with that really help me, and how I think that, because I've obviously I've lost weight every time I've weighed for the last 4 weeks. I think I've lost 11 pounds in total, which I think is a pretty good start. So yeah, I've got a bit of a list here, so I shall reel off my list what my top 10 tips are for, you know, when you're on Slimming World. So my first tip is tip number 1, plan your meals. Now, this has seriously worked for me, planning my meals. Everyone knows what they're having for tea, and it's easier for me to work out SYNS earlier on in the day and stuff. You know, your whole day revolves around that plan then, so you're under control completely with your food. And I just like it. I like having a structure to follow, and then you don't get sidetracked then so much, you know. You don't tend to stray, you know. You stay to plan, and you know, you save money as well. Like, you don't waste food as much, and because I found that we were wasting loads of food before, and now I stick to plan, and you know, it works really well for me. The next tip number 2 is do your shopping, online shop if you can. If you know, some people like to go to the supermarket and pick their own veg and fruit and stuff, and I understand that, but I really find doing an online shop really helps me. 1, because I've got 2 children and I don't have to take them into the store and try and keep them entertained while I go around and try and reel off my list. 2, it keeps me on my shopping list, you know, because numerous occasions I used to go out with a little bit of a list or a mental list in my head, and then I'd be picking up stuff that just rubbish, stuff that was, it's £1 on offer, let's get it. So, you know, it helps you stay within a budget, and you know, you're not tempted by naughty stuff as well, you know. You know, if you're hungry, it doesn't matter, you're in the house doing it, so you can just go to your fridge and grab one of your healthy snacks you've got, rather than like, oh my god, I'm starving, I have to grab something off the shelf, you know. So yeah, shopping online I think is a really good tool, and you know, you can have it delivered, you can go and collect it, you know, you can be quite flexible with that. But yeah, so I do recommend doing your food shop online. Number 3, know your speed foods. I've been caught out sometimes, and it's not that it's never really affected me. I mean, what I've eaten is a free food, but then you get your speed foods, which help speed up your weight loss. And you'd be surprised of things like blueberries. You would automatically think in your head they're gonna be, you know, they're amazing for you, they're antioxidant and all this and that and the other, and everyone raves about them, but they're actually not a speed fruit. There's a couple of other ones as well which I can't think. I know bananas aren't, grapes aren't, you know, things where you'd think easy snack on, blueberries and grapes, yeah, or a couple of bananas, and they're not speed foods. So just be aware of, read the book you get, it's got listed in there, all the speed foods got an S next to them, so you know that they're speed foods. And you know, the foods are free, so it's not that, you know, it's not a huge impact if you don't have them, but if you wanted to speed up that weight loss, you know, make sure you're really up on what are speed fruits and what are speed veggies, etc. Tip number 4 is drink more water. I swear to God, I really think that this has made a massive difference. I have a massive jug which I fill up. I've got a water bottle for taking out, but I've got a big jug that I fill up, put a couple of slices of lemons, limes, whatever in there, and it's amazing. Drink that jug for the whole day. You can just top up your glass, have a sip, and you know, you're ready to go. I really think water's helped in a massive way. If I feel hungry, the first thing I do is think, I'll have a couple of sips of water now, because it could be your body telling you that you don't it's not necessarily you're hungry, that you're actually a little bit dehydrated, you just need a bit of hydration. So yeah, that's, you know, it stops you from eating so much, I think. It just curbs your appetite a little bit. And I notice a massive difference in my skin. Like, I feel like my skin is loads better, more clearer. You know, I do use, you know, skincare as well, I'm not saying, but I do definitely think it's really made a massive difference. I used to get really dry lips all the time, and since I've been drinking loads of water, my lips don't seem to get dry as much, even you know, in this weather when it's cold and horrible and windy and icy and the heating's on in the car, I feel that, you know, they're okay with that. I don't know what number I'm on. Tip number 5, use your SYNS. That's what they're there for. They're there for you to have whatever you want. If you can't bear to have toast without spread, you've got to have your spread, SYN it. You want to make, you use mayonnaise, tomato ketchup, SYN it. That's what they're there for. They're there to make your life a little bit more manageable on the Slimming World diet. You know, they're brilliant. I think they're amazing. I hate using SYNS in cooking. I like to eat as free as possible, and then I like to use my SYNS for chocolate, crisps, glasses of wine, or, you know, spirits with, you know, mixer and whatever. So, you know, use them. They're there for. I think I allow myself 15 a day. I don't always have the full 15. I will say, you know, I'm not going to eat for the sake of it, but that, you know, use them. They're there to stop you straying as well. You know, you don't tend to, if you feel like, oh, I can, you know, I'll have that bit of chocolate, and you SYN it, and then you think, oh no, there we are, wait till tomorrow, I can have another piece, it's fine, you know, and it's done. So yeah, no, really do use your SYNS, because I think they help you stay on track with the naughty stuff more than anything, and they just make it a little bit more enjoyable, you know, not so much, it feels like so much like a diet then, you know. Tip number 6 is stay at group. I know so many people, I've seen them there myself, come in, just get weighed, and then off they go. And I know the groups are £4.95. Think about it now, you pay in that £4.95 if you're in the group. Stay, get your £4.95 with. I mean, I have had conversations with some lovely people, some lovely women and men, that we're all in the same boat. Okay, we're all different sizes and different shapes and different weights, but we're all there for one main reason, that we all want to lose weight. And there's so many tips you can pick up in the groups, recipes, you know, you get to see other people's losses, that kind of, you know, you want to see other people do really well as well, and people are proud of how you were doing, and you get a sense of achievement, you know. And it's a social thing as well, you know, you meeting people, and you're all the same, you know, you're all in the same room and you're all in the same boat, you know. And it's nice to be with people that think the same as you and feel the same as you, you know, even though they're not looking the same as you, or, you know, different weights and different sizes, but you all think the same thing, you know. And I've met some lovely ladies going to group, people that, like, I want to talk to, you know. They've got really good tips and advice and anything like that, you know. Or if you felt something you weren't doing quite right within it, and, you know, you can go to them and ask them, you know. I really like going to groups. I think it keeps you motivated, and, you know, it is a social aspect to it as well. So try and stay in your group next time you go away. If you go away to groups, just, you know, stick to it and hang around and see what you learn. It's really good, honestly. Number 7, don't focus on the whole weight loss. I did that on my very first video, on my second video, where I worked out my target, and I think it was 32 pounds, and I was like, oh my god, it's 32 pounds, and you could see me saying it a few times. And I didn't realise until I hit my half a stone how I should perhaps look at it in pieces rather than a big lump. So do it half a stone at a time, you know. So get your first £7 off, which I've done, and now I'm working towards my next £7, and then that's a stone. You've only got to do that twice and you've lost a stone, you know. So if you do it in little pieces, I think is a little bit more manageable and a little bit more realistic. It feels achievable, you know, and it is achievable, but break it down so you know you're aiming for each half a stone milestone, and then when you get there, you know, you feel great, and then you go on, I'm doing the next one now, and like that. I think that's the way I'm going to look at it anyway. And since I do look at it like that now, I feel loads better about the bigger picture, you know. Tip number 8 is plan ahead when eating out. So you know you've got an event coming up, okay, and sometimes it's fine to have the night off. I've done that a couple of times, thinking, no, I'm going to have the night off. But if you really, really want to stick to plan, look at, most menus are online and available, and look at it all and study it and try and optimize the best you can to, you know, what you can, like asking for jacket potato or boiled potatoes or just the salad, you know, and the steak, and then decide, you know, how you're gonna, where you want to use your SYNS on that meal out, you know. So eat free for the day, so you know then, oh, I'll keep my SYNS now for an eat out tonight because I'm not quite sure how that's cooked, or, you know, it could be a couple of SYN values there. And I think as when I go out, I tend to, well, I have had steak and salad, which I felt was, you know, that was brilliant for me. I studied, I knew I wanted a steak, but then I'm getting a bit of a dessert, but that's fine, you know, as long as you're prepared to, if you want to go and have a treat, go and have a treat, because there's nothing worse than telling yourself you can't have something, you can't have something, you can't have something. I know it's hard to stick on plan when you go out, I find that the hardest, but by looking ahead, so looking at the menu beforehand and making your choices, then, you know, you can try and stick to the best food optimization you can in the situation, you know. That's all, you know, you can do, isn't it? But yeah, no, look ahead, plan what you're going to have, decide, you know, am I going to be good, am I not going to be good, and then, you know, make your choice. Tip number 9 is to use the online app. I think it's Life Online. It's an app. You can use it on your internet, on your, you know, your desktop as well. It doesn't have to be on your phone, and it's amazing. It just contains recipes, which I look at every time I'm planning my food for the week. I go on the Slimming World online app, and I plan all my recipes from there. It records all your weight and stuff anyway for you. It does your little graphs. You know where you are. Your rewards are all listed on there. Lots of discussions on there about different things. There's a SYNS calculator on there, so if you're not sure the SYNS are something, that, you know, you've got a SYNS calculator, and I really think it's a major tool, and I've used it a heck of a lot, you know, for when your group isn't there, you know, that is your next protocol. It's got everything in there. It's phenomenal. It's really good app. I'm really impressed with it, actually. You know how you can do so much on there. You can record your fitness, body magic and everything. It's really good. Tip number 10 is get inspiration from different sources. So whether it would be like the online app or the Slimming World magazines, they're amazing. There's loads of good recipes in these. They've got a bit of a shopping list as well, where what's new out in the stores, tells you all the SYN values, and they're usually themed to the time of the month of the release. So like it's February, so there's a bit of like Valentine's Day in this one, and it's really good. I love the magazine more than anything. I think it's nice to sit down and read. I enjoy looking at the other stories in there. I enjoy looking at the recipes and finding out what treats are out there for your SYNS and things like that, things you wouldn't even think of, you know. So yeah, I really like the Slimming World magazine. Again, online, I know Facebook, if you're on Facebook, type in Slimming World, there is a million people doing different Slimming World pages. They're always posting up recipes, SYN values of things they've discovered. It's amazing. I think the one I like is Two Chubby Cubs. They're really good. They're quite funny. They're a bit naughty, but it's a joke. So they're really good. I think Fopaholic, she is on there. So phenomenal, really good, interesting things. So if you're into the social media thing, go on to those pages on Facebook and, you know, and like them, and then you'll keep up to date in your news feed then with different Slimming World ideas. And also YouTubers. Myself, I've started a YouTube channel. There's lots of Slimming World YouTube channels out there. Go and look at them. They can give you lots of ideas. Lots of them do what I eat in a day, and things like that. So, you know, you get ideas, again, you know, from that, another perspective from someone as well, you know. So just, you know, get inspiration, get looking out there, watching people, looking at Facebook and whatever, and getting new ideas and following other people on their journey as well, you know. I think it's really important to be able to do that, to be able to see other people and how they get on and think, you know, I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that this week, and I'm going to try cook that this week. I think it's good. It keeps it not so mundane, you know. You get a bit excited about it. So yeah, there we are, guys. That was my top 10 tips so far for Slimming World. I might update it in, you know, a couple of weeks and been on it a little bit longer. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. As usual, any comments you want to put, just comment below. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so. I shall probably catch up with you now on Thursday for my 5th weigh-in to see how I've done this week. There we are. Take care then, guys. Thank you for watching. Bye.